Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Summer of 26, a global soccer showdown with myself, Gary Striker, and the Qooligan. We are on the eve of the quarterfinals of the World Cup. It has been a long, winding road.
And
well,
come on, man. 5 hours. 5
Day
hours
off.
away. There, it's here.
Day of the France-Morocco game. It has been
It's knocking on your door.
Long and winding road, and my goodness, it has been an eventful World Cup. That is for sure. That is for sure.
Sir Paul's going to sue your ass for saying that, but can't use those words in a commercial context without paying the Michael Jackson estate.
Qooligan, good. So how are you feeling? Hopefully you had a little bit of time to just breathe and sort of take a little bit of a day off with that day.
No, it was very nice to not have a game to watch yesterday. It was a pleasure to have a little bit of time back.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Actually got to watch a movie. Shocking.
Wow.
Oh,
wow. What's that? What is that?
What is that? I don't understand. Why is there so little movement?
Yeah.
Why is there no ball? Why is there no ball on the screen?
Why is there no VAR with questionable refereeing decisions as well, right?
Jesus, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
Well, let's just dive into that quickly and talk about just basically the sort of the last couple of games for the round of 16. I think
they were the
Argentina ones and the US game. It's the the US game. I have to say,
well, no,
that was the worst performance of the tournament the US played. I feel like they kind of the teams that are doing well are sort of like that are flexing into this have started badly and got better as the games have gone exactly. Whereas the US kind of did the opposite, where they started
that's exactly right
through, and then their worst performance came up against Belgium, and Belgium did the opposite, right? They were just they're kind of trending into this, right?
Opposite. That's right. Yeah. Well, and that's how tournament football works. If you have a bad game, you're out. It's just the way it is. The U.S. had a bad game, and they were out.
Yeah,
they were. You could tell they were certainly. I think the weight of the moment hit them much harder than it did Belgium. I think Belgium and I think Belgium they were aggrieved. They felt they were on the moral high ground or whatever it was, and they played like it, and the U.S. did not. So it goes. I mean, I was more disappointed in the fact that they went out with a whimper. I mean, I don't like losing to Belgium. One thing. It's. I don't think that was great. But then again, you look at it, you go, yeah, well, Belgium was higher ranked, and I suppose they're better. I didn't think that their FIFA ranking was reflected in the way that they had performed in the group phase. I thought the U.S. was far superior.
Yeah.
But yes, like we said, records don't matter. It's only what you do in the 90 minutes. And the U.S. didn't do anything in the 90 minutes, and Belgium did.
Yeah.
And good on them. And, but like, poor Matt Freese. I mean, just, the scuff foot. I mean, that is, nothing tells you, nothing really can explain mental breakdown more than that.
He panicked.
Because that is just clearly nerves and mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. You don't scuff your foot like that without there being other things going on.
Something happened in there that prevented him just going woof with his left foot and doing it.
I mean, it's the most automatic motion in the world for almost anybody who plays this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And for goalkeepers, especially the clearance sweep is, and it just, you could see it. I saw it. I went, oh my God. He scuffed his toe. And it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it's like, no matter who you are, there's going to be a point where you scuff your toe on a shot. It just happens. But to happen right there in that moment, devastating.
And with the world watching as well, I think I saw it was like that US-Belgium game was the record inside domestic US, both English and Spanish. I think it had a record like something like 60 million viewers inside the US across English and Spanish.
I don't think that's correct. Actually, England, Mexico had more.
No, but I'm sorry, for a US game, should I say? Sorry, the most
for a US game, sure, but England and Mexico actually was more watched. But yes, I think it was without a doubt that one. Wow, that's a little embarrassing. But at the same time, good.
That's the game that they play. And look, you learn. And then, of course, and I can't help but think that, all of the sort of the noise before and around the game definitely sort of was weighing a little bit on the players and sort of impacted them.
And
Balogun either got marked out
yeah,
of the game / went missing, just didn't show up, didn't perform. And then Pulisic, I I feel quite bad for
terrible.
him because
He was
look,
terrible.
yeah, he was terrible. And again, he got
They
injured
were, and
once again. He got injured, right? And he's a
yeah, well,
delicate gazelle. When he's on form and he's cooking, he's really good. But boy, does he
but
pick up
even
some easy knocks.
players that were absolutely outstanding for the U.S., like Chris Richards, made
Fantastic.
tons of
Ooh,
mistakes.
ooh,
Malik Tillman
yeah.
couldn't keep the ball, couldn't pass the ball anyway. I mean, nobody had a good game,
Nerves. I think it
and,
was just
nobody had a good game there.
yeah.
And sure, Malik Tillman took the shot, and it was a great shot.
Hmm.
But then to concede 48 seconds later,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God. I
Yeah.
mean, just, oh no,
Yeah.
it was, but whatever.
Yeah.
Listen,
Of course, there's
they
the
had their moment. And here's the funny thing. I mean, I actually thought about it and said, all three host nations went out the same round.
hmm
There was something that was very nice and level about that.
yeah.
Um, I think, but of all those host nations, it was Mexico that had the hardest task.
Yeah.
And I think they tried their level best. They
They
just
went down swinging.
they couldn't break them down. They just
They
couldn't
went
break
down
it down.
swinging. Absolutely. They
You
went
know,
down swinging. And
they walked off the field, tears streaming down their face, but their heads held high. The
yeah.
U.S. just walked out with their shoulders slumped
Yeah.
and kind of a like,
Yeah.
gee, don't look at me.
Yeah. My the one sort of hope that
Even Canada tried. You could see
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the stats.
Yeah.
Canada dominated the stats. They were making attempts. They were possessing the ball. They were driving. They had more touches. They did everything there to no avail. They just couldn't break it down.
Mhm.
They couldn't break down Switzerland. But hey, they were trying.
Yeah. My hope was that sort of like that this sort of like, the way in which because look, the US were never going to win it. I think, look, in terms of sort of
Sure.
getting to the round of 16 was okay.
Oh
It's an
no.
okay performance. If they got
Still
through and
good.
got to the quarterfinals, I think that would have probably been an overachievement, but given sort of
Oh
where they
yeah.
are, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I think they got to probably the level that they probably were. My hope was that sort of this would then sort of wake up sort of the US mindset of like, okay, on the world stage, because this is really, aside from the Olympics, of course, this is only the real competition where you can compete internationally at a sort of a sort of equitable level, right? And say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, 11 hours against 11 of yours, let's go and see who's better. I do wonder that it's funny how the sort of the narrative that has come out is all of a sudden it's sort of like shifted to sort of like youth development and how the mentality is not right and the kids aren't sort of put into sort of, the right coaching environment. And then there's a question of the costs coming up as well, and sort of how much it costs to sort of get into sort of, sort of youth soccer and youth matches. And I wonder if Americans are really going to give a shit about this, or do they just move on and wait for the next 4 years and see what happens in the next World Cup?
Yep. It's the latter. No,
Yeah.
it's the latter because
Everyone's
I
just
mean
going to
it's
go,
the
oh,
way
whoop,
that's the way
okay,
it's no,
that's
it's the way it's always been. And
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest with you. The US is not going to abandon its methodology of developing players within
Mhm.
any sport that unless it's lucrative, because
Mhm.
that's just the way the country is
It's just
not situated around greatness. It is situated around profit.
mhm.
And if the two can go together, that's great. But if they don't, they will always take profit over greatness
Mhm.
every time.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
Yeah.
People would rather get paid than be good.
Well,
End of story.
yeah. Well, and this is, I mean, we've discussed this often, isn't it? It's like, this is the problem with the US is there's no stars growing from within the MLS ecosystem. These sort of like stars predominantly have gone overseas and sort of gone into foreign academies. It's like European clubs and sort of other clubs and sort of, been nurtured
Yes and no.
predominantly, right?
I don't agree with that. I think that has happened.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it has happened. It's just that doesn't translate on the international stage. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
That there's a fundamental difference between generating a player that can compete at the highest levels internationally and one that could compete in this type of interesting and global thing. Listen, it's not it's not an accident that most of the countries that produce this, most of the countries that are sitting in these finals are not big countries. Like it in the sense that they might have large populations, like large-ish populations, but they're not giant countries, right?
Yeah.
Giant countries don't do well at these. China, not great. Russia, not great. United States, not great. Now Brazil is different. But that's because this is their national sport.
And that's,
right?
I think that's it. What's your national sport? What is the most popular sport in that country? And that's exactly it, right? You go across
even if Russia is the most popular sport of soccer, which it probably is, doesn't mean that there's going to be that they're particularly any good at it. They're not. They're not bad at it, but at the same time, and then of course there's the fact that they're under sanction.
Well, that's being
doesn't
sanctioned,
help much.
You can't compete.
So and of course you're looking at India, and that's not their national sport, right? Even Indonesia, right, which is one of the largest countries, it's not their national sport. They're getting better at it, but that's because they've had to open up their recruitment pool to include foreign nationals. So no, this doesn't surprise me. Right. This doesn't surprise me, and I don't think there'll be any substantive change. But I think enough about that. This is we're now the hosts, so let's see what'll happen as we go through, and as these next round of games go on. Let's just hope that we can continue to be gracious hosts and provide a good experience for everybody
and be entertained as well. And we've got some good games. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to? I know you had some thoughts on the Argentine.
Yeah, I was not happy about that. I was not happy about that.
Yeah. Go on. Do you want anything you want to share? I mean, I look. I think there have been some questionable refereeing decisions throughout this tournament, which have been, which have been.
So I think surprisingly few, but glaringly in the spotlight. Right? That's the way I would put it, because when you see the ones that happen, they tend to have outsized impact, right? Or they're particularly notable. I think Balogun's red card was an example of one. But I think that calling back that Egypt goal was another one. I know why they did it, but I think that by itself is an error. And then the fact that they didn't even review the second one when I think it was reviewable, that makes me think that there was some other narrative at play. I'm not accusing FIFA of corruption. Well, I've accused FIFA of corruption multiple times.
You have many times, yeah.
No, I am.
No, I think we.
But there's something unusual that they would go and do that, but then on an essentially identical type of play. And there were two key differences that I want to point out. First one was, in the first instance, the player stepped on the other. I mean, marginal. We're talking a marginal step on the foot. I mean, it's like the type of stomp that happens all the time in the game. I see it as a referee when I'm in this. I see that all the time in the game. People fall down. I'm like, come on, man, it's just part of the game. You're going to get stepped on. Hello, contact sport. You're wearing a boot with studs. You're going to get stepped on. End of story. That happens. Not every time that happens is a foul. Second thing is it happened outside the box. Now, I guarantee you that the reason they didn't review the other one is because if they did review, there was only one possible restart. What was that? Penalty kick for Egypt.
Yeah.
Do you really think anybody in their right mind was going to take away an Argentina goal?
Yeah.
And then give an Egypt penalty kick? There was no way in hell that was going to happen. Somebody made sure of it.
Yeah.
Somebody made sure of it. Somebody was sitting there going, we can't possibly do that. That's too far. That's too far. Why was that too far and the other thing not far enough? That's my question. And apparently, and I don't know the truth about this, the Egyptian Federation, prior to the game, protested the selection of that referee for their game. For some reason, and I don't know why.
Oh, really? Okay.
That is what the Egyptian coach claims. Now, the Egyptian coach was angry. So I'm not saying.
Did you see that? Did you see he pulled that card out? Did you see that?
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that there was anything there or if he wasn't just making something up, but if they did formally protest, then FIFA should talk about why was that protest made?
Yeah.
The French referee proceeded to give 5 yellow cards to Egyptian players within a span of a minute and a half.
Yeah, he was dishing them out quickly.
He was going
There was
crazy
yeah.
against them. And after a while, I was going, okay, this is a little ridiculous. I mean, seriously, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And was, in my opinion, kind of engaging and encouraged. He was going in and initiating a lot of the stuff that he was then going in and doing yellow cards about. Yeah, I think you're gonna and if I recall, that referee has had some controversy in the past in another game. So I have to, I just look back and go, it's disappointing. But I also listen. I don't like Argentina much as a club, as a country, as a team, as the way they play. They annoy the hell out of me. But I have to give credit where credit is due, and in the end, they did it. Egypt couldn't keep them out. Congratulations to them. Well done. It was a great comeback. It really was. I was angry as hell that it happened, but I also respect the fact that they earned it. Right? It wasn't handed to them, but they had help. There was psychological help. There was something else that was going on there.
The thing that's impressed me the most about the Argentine sort of squad is just the team spirit that was within that group.
Great team spirit. Great team spirit.
Some of the best team spirit. It really is. You can see that they are fighting for each other while also wanting to elevate Messi. And look, hey, Messi was not on it in that game, right? Obviously, the missed penalty, he was not there.
Yeah.
But then he did get his goal, and that final header from Fernandez was just, again, we went to.
I mean, again, spectacular.
It was amazing, just wonderful.
But I do not want them to win.
Well, I think
I don't want them to win. I don't want them to advance any further. Yeah. I would like for them to just disappear and be out of this World Cup.
What is interesting about Argentina is they have objectively had the easiest path in terms of the bracketology, 100%. Right? With Cape Verde, with Egypt, and then lining up against Switzerland as well. But they've not made it easy for themselves on those games.
Because they're not as good as everybody says they are.
No, that's especially when Messi's not on as well. They all seem to sort of struggle a little bit. And Messi,
correct.
You can see he was tired. He was just not on it. You can see that was the sort of player of a tired player. So yeah, we'll get into it.
I mean, listen. I have been on the Switzerland train for a while. You've heard me talk about it before. I've said that they're the best team that nobody's paying attention to. And you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it. The Colombia game wasn't a great game.
Oof, it was a snooze
but
fest.
It was a fantastic example of how you defend. Right?
Yeah.
They were stubborn, defensive, all
organized.
of that.
Yeah.
Organized. And if anybody can take down Argentina, I think it's probably the Swiss. And I think that's the upset. As we segue now into our quarterfinals discussion, I think that is the upset of the quarterfinals, potentially.
Interesting.
I think that Switzerland is one of the teams that can take them down.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes that almost impossible is the fact that their star player, Manzambi, got hurt in a training session.
Do you think? Oh, he did.
Without him, I don't think their offense was not nearly as strong as it used to be. So if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it by grinding it out. But they can. The Swiss are great at grinding. So
okay. All right. So then today we have France against Morocco. I am looking forward.
I think this is a great game. I just think this is a great game. Yeah.
This is actually, unlike the France-Paraguay game, which was more of a sort of a dogfight rather than a game of football or a game of soccer. I think the Moroccans will look at the French and say, let's go toe-to-toe with these guys and let's get at them. And
I think they're also gonna look at the Paraguay game and see an opportunity as well. I think you're gonna see them be very physical. I think you're going to see them push it. No, they're absolutely going to do that. Yeah, they know. They're not dumb. They played in the semifinal last year, and they got beat bad by France.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just kind of they were run over, and they're not going. It was 3-0 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let that happen again.
Yeah.
They will take down players.
Yeah.
Before they let that happen. And so I'm thinking, whomever that referee is, I haven't looked to see who it is, but their cards are going to be flying early, I think. there's certainly going to be a lot of flying tackles and a lot of emotion and all that. So, I mean, let's remember there's probably a sizable portion of this Morocco team that was born and raised in France.
Oh, there's who is it? I think Unani. I think is it Unani? He was actually sort of like captain of the French under 21 team and came up through sort of one of the French team's academies as well. So,
I mean, this is
a local
literally.
rival.
I mean, you can say that pretty much about any team. I mean, what is it? Is it 96 players in this World Cup are French origin, and the majority of them, the majority of them for the banlieue that surround Paris. Like there's that band around Paris produces all the talent.
It's like a sort of a mushroom farm for sort of great football talents, isn't it? Right? It really is
incredible.
It really is. Yeah, they all come from there. There was a segment on the Fox bit with Thierry Henry about sort of, because that part, I think it was one of the arrondissements, right, which is part of it, and it just all the great players have come from there. It's amazing.
Oh, sure.
So it's going to be, it is a local derby. It really is, both geographically and obviously sort of, geographically, sort of historically. Obviously, they both speak French as well, so they're going to be going at each other. And there is the possibility, there is the propensity for this to get a little bit overheated, and all of a sudden, this isn't going well. This could also be another, the referee could be dishing out a lot of yellow cards just to keep everyone in line. So again, you're right. The referee will play a big part in the role of this. France, though, have just been swashbuckling. They've just been absolutely fantastic all the way through. Hey,
they have. And again, Morocco is missing Saibari. He was their main scorer. He has, I think he's not a main scorer in the way that Messi is. I mean, here's the fact. Argentina is so heavily dependent on that man scoring.
Yeah.
That if he doesn't, they're in trouble.
Well, we saw that against,
right. Whereas Morocco has spread the wealth around a lot. And here's the funny thing is that France only has 4 players who've scored goals. That's it.
Yeah.
They're scoring a lot of goals. Right?
Mbappe kissing the golden boot. Elise is up there as well. And then who else?
Nope. Elise has not scored a goal.
I'm sorry, not Elise. He's the top assistant.
He's the top assistant.
Dembele has scored 4. Mbappe scored 6. And then who else are the other ones that would have scored?
Firstly, Mbappe scored 7.
7? Okay.
Doué.
Yeah.
So it's Mbappe, Barcola, Doué, Dembele. Those 4. That's it. Nobody outside of their front attacking line has scored a goal.
Yeah, well, okay.
I find that fascinating. It's an interesting story. And then, of course, you've got Elise, who's the assist leader with 5. But the second place assister is Brahim Diaz of Morocco. So you've got 2 players both feeding beautifully.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I just think it could be great. But I think in the end, the problem is that Morocco doesn't have the ruthlessness and the clinical finishing that France has.
Yeah.
And while Morocco's defense, and I'm not going to say that Morocco's defense is better. I think France's defense is certainly suspect. They're not winning their games by virtue of superior defensiveness. They're not screwing up.
Yeah.
But that's weaker, right? But their attack is so much stronger than Morocco's defense. I think in the end, France wins. Only because they just look good. They look so good.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it is definitely sort of looking that way, isn't it? Okay. And then just sort of like touching on some of the other quarterfinal games we've got that
Belgium, Spain is the next one.
Belgium, right, which is tomorrow. I mean, Spain have been, I know you're quick to point this out. You're absolutely right. Spain are yet to concede a goal, which is amazing. That, by the way, that Spain-Portugal game was an absolute snooze fest. Absolute snooze fest. It was the most dull.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Boring game.
It was horrible. I did not enjoy it.
I went to a bar to watch it, took the laptop, and I found myself working more than watching the game because there was not much going on.
That's fair.
Spain have just been quietly going about their business, not conceding and just grinding out results and getting through. I think Spain should have the edge over Belgium, which would then set up potentially, if we're sort of predicting this, would be a France-Spain semi-final, which would be a good matchup. But I agree, this is probably the least exciting game that there is.
Yeah, and again, you're talking about like you said, that Spanish defense is boringly amazing.
Good.
Like, I mean, in a sense that there's nothing that you see that Spain does that attracts the eye or impresses, and yet the results are insanely, overachieving.
Yeah.
I mean, and Oyarzabal, God, he misses so much. It's unbelievable the amount of shots he misses, but
Yeah.
he takes a lot, and then when they go in, it's great. And I don't know. It's funny. Outside of Switzerland, Argentina, which I think is a prime upset candidate, this would be my second.
You think
Well,
you
I don't
think
know.
Belgium could get to the semis?
I actually do think Belgium could do it, and here's why. And I'm going to go on a little pro Belgium rant here, which is unusual for me, but still,
You.
this is, Belgium has always historically underachieved in the sense that they get hyped up, they do this. Well, they didn't get hyped up this World Cup. They're coming at it from a real grassroots, like in the word is used often, but a real dark horse. Like nobody saw them come. They were way back in the pack. They were terrible in the group phase. And as you said, they're now on their ascendancy and coming up. They had a bad first game. They kind of rose. They've done their thing, but they've been at that level. If they stay level, if they stay where they are, Belgium can exploit that.
Mm-hmm.
Belgium's got something funky going on here. And that funk is Romelu Lukaku. I don't understand what they're feeding that guy, other than the fact that a lot of it, because he's big.
He's a big boy, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, he gets on the field, and all of a sudden, goals just start happening.
They do, yeah.
De Ketelaere finally woke up and had a great game against the United States.
Yeah.
Will Spain give him those types of opportunities? Probably not.
Yeah.
But if the two of them are on the field at the same time, holy crap, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out, because there's going to be some interesting stuff. I do think Belgium can do something, only because nobody in their right mind gives them a chance. And that's something I think the Belgians love. They love the underdog. They love being the underdog.
What I thought was interesting from the Belgium side, it was the lineup that they chose against the US, and they decided to bench Lukaku and De Bruyne. And I think that's just probably just saving them. I know they came on the idea and they're just
100%.
saving them and just managing them, because managing their game time. So they'll be sort of less exhausted, whereas Messi's, he must be, ice bathing and infrareding and just resting.
They knew that the US, if the US is on its game, they know that the US is young, and they know that they're very fast and they're very physical. Well, guess what? Lukaku and De Bruyne cannot play that game.
Yeah.
But Spain's not like that. So I think you put De Bruyne, he's in. I don't think Lukaku starts. Lukaku will never start again. He will be a super sub. Watch. It's the only way he's playing right now.
Yeah.
You hold him, you put him in the 65th minute, bam, and the guy just wakes up. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that strategy. That's the way that you're going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Now, I think they feel that the world has ignored them, and the world has ignored them. If they beat Spain, the world will not ignore them anymore. Right? It's like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? I mean, Lukaku's played 200 minutes in this World Cup.
Yeah.
He's got 3 goals and 2 assists. That's monstrous numbers.
Great return.
That's a goal contribution every 40 minutes.
Yeah. Great
there
return.
are very few players that are doing that are not Golden Boot leaders.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, something's going on there.
Yeah.
And it's their golden generation. This is it. They all know this is the last one.
Yeah.
For at least a third of the team. They're never coming back again.
Yeah. I don't think they can go all the way and win it. But yeah, I think it would be an upset and a surprise if they beat Spain, but I would expect Spain to sort of to have the edge here and get over here, that's for sure.
But I would just as much like to see a France versus Belgium contest as I would a France versus Spain contest.
Well, it could be a Morocco versus Belgium semis, so it could be the other way around as well, right? It could be the two upsets. There could be two upsets. We'll see.
You're entirely correct. That could happen. I don't think it will, but if it does, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be upset about it. Yeah.
Okay, and then we've discussed obviously sort of that side of the bracket as well. So I think we're both of the opinion that it should be. We're expecting a France and Spain to go through, and that should be the semifinals on one side.
No, I actually I do think Belgium's going to. I do think Belgium could do it. I do think they could do it. Yeah.
Okay. And then on the other side, Argentina, Switzerland. Obviously, you think this is going to be the upset. I again. It all depends on sort of Messi's mental sort of physical state and sort of how he's able to perform. I mean, from his side, he's probably thinking, guys, we've got 3 more games. And I suspect this is it for him. I don't think he comes back to another World Cup. So if you are a big Messi fan, enjoy him and appreciate it, because you're probably not going to see him again in another World Cup. But it does leave that final quarterfinal, Norway against England. This is going to be a great game. Hey, this is a
Yeah.
great game. I think the Norwegians will be looking at this thinking, we can beat the way they've been playing, the way they've been sort of basically breezing, well, not say breezing through, that's there, but dominating really sort of, historically good sides, right? The
Yeah.
way, I mean, sort of they did it against Brazil, which was, absolutely, they just completely dominated them and pressed them. They'll probably come into this England game as well and say, let's go again and let's do the same thing. And England obviously know the players very well. They know Odegaard, they know Haaland, a bunch of the other players who are in the Premier League, and they play together with a bunch of other players. So that same thing is, how do they use Haaland? Do they mark him out of the game and create the space for other players to come in, or do they just go full court press and just say, we're just going to run over you and try and crush you Vikings and
I don't see any reason why they do anything different than they did against Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I will say this: England will not be as laissez-faire on Haaland as Brazil was.
Yeah.
Haaland will not get the amount of space that he got in Brazil.
Tuchel
right?
will structure his team for him, with him in mind.
They have to, they have to know. One, he's teammates with half the England team. I mean, it's like, it's like there's so much familiarity there.
Riley, John Stones, and all those guys.
Oh yeah, I mean,
trains with him every day. Yeah.
I mean, I still think Holland's going to get a goal in this game. But I also, Norway's. You talk about team spirit, right? You talked about that. This Norway team exemplifies that as well. The way that Argentina does, and in a way they're very similar to each other, because there are teams that have a true national cohesion, an understanding, a mutual love and respect for each other.
Yeah.
But it is all focused, it all channels through one person, right?
Yeah.
The only difference being that the Norwegians' one person is a gigantic blonde monster, whereas the Argentine one is a little diminutive, wizard with his feet. Great. Doesn't belittle either of their achievements. It's, but yeah, it's, I don't even know how to, I can't even really pick this one.
It's the hardest one to predict, I think.
It is the hardest one to predict, because I can see strong arguments for both sides winning. Really, I can. The Norway side has a lot to do with England, fudging it up, right? Norway will decimate you if you give them an opportunity. The question is, will England give them an opportunity? The sad truth is, probably. At some point.
Yeah.
They've got a real problem on that right side, England. You think Norway does it? They know that.
Yeah.
They're going to be absolutely flooding their left. The English right is going to be they're going to be pressing, Noosa, shoulder up, right? And Oscar Bob will go both sides. He'll, and even, and then of course, your Muller-Wolf, right? He's their wing back. They're all going to be exploiting this. Look for them to be just completely hammering that side.
Yeah.
And for Haaland to just stand there in the middle and go, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball.
Yeah. Speaking of give me the ball, Jude Bellingham has really, really leveled up in this World Cup. I think he's really sort of, gone.
But if he has a bad game, I don't know what England does.
This is kind of, it's up to, right? We'll see if he's on it. He really does he really is the sort of the cog that sort of, makes them tick, and really does sort of make them
go. And Kane too. I mean, Kane's been great as well. When he's been needed, he's been there. But not so many of the other players have just been okay. And it's been like you say, collective effort and all this and all that. And I think Pickford makes an error in this one. He's been close before. He's had some amazing stops, but he's been close.
He's Kept them in. Yeah, he's definitely kept them in a little bit. And Tuchel will be aware of that, of like, just it has been a little bit easier. And I agree with you, that right side of defense, of the defensive side, even the right back as well. I think Konza is, he's
What
been
right back? They don't have a right back
the
anymore.
right center side as well. So Gay on the left and then Konza on the right as well. I think that's it. And then Anderson and Rice covering as well. We'll see. But yeah, I agree. And then in terms of, obviously no Jordan Henderson, he won't be making an appearance after his.
No, we know about that one. No. No, the only Henderson that's left on that team is Dean Henderson. And,
Dean, yeah.
And trust me, he doesn't want to have to enter the pitch. But
oh my goodness, yeah. Oh my goodness, wonderful.
But I mean, like, I really think the only person they can start is Jed Spence, right? He's the only person they could possibly put into that right wing, right back position, unless they drop somebody else.
Well, there was talk that maybe Reece James might be fit, and again, Reece James's hamstrings have been, they're probably.
Are you seriously going to try and put Reece James into a quarterfinal match going up against some of these, like against Nusa?
Oh my God! You save him for the possible semis, because again, on the semis, just the pathway. Assume it. Whoever gets through then faces the winner of Switzerland, Argentina. You think Switzerland put the shock up? I mean, England, Argentina semi-final of a World Cup as well. That will be also sort of a spectacle. I mean, any semi-final of a World Cup is good, but particularly just sort of lining them up and all those megastars going for the golden boot and sort of pushing for it. It will be really special. So
either way, all four matches I think offer something incredible.
Yeah.
Right. And assuming that Switzerland doesn't pull off it wouldn't say it's the greatest upset in this World Cup, but if they were to pull up a shocking upset, they would definitely upend things. But even if they don't, it probably means that Argentina is going to have a really good game, and that'll be fun to watch too. So, I'm like, all right, that's cool. I can't get uptight about that.
Sit back and be entertained. I think that's
exactly. Just have fun. Have fun with it.
Indeed.
Wonderful. And I promise not to yell and scream about the Argentina thing unless the referees go in and do something really dumb.
I think our group chat will probably take a bit of a beating. I'm sure no doubt. So yeah,
it might happen.
Wonderful. All right, Qooligan. Until next time. Thank you.
Peace.